up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to 2020. We're officially in the future now. And as it is a new year, new me, all of that sort of stuff, I wanted to share with you today some of my personal goals for the coming year, and also my personal opinion on strength standards in bodyweight training, things for you to aim for as well, where I think it is worth you spending your energy. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Big bad Archie is back for just one video. I just want to interrupt this vlog very quickly to let you know that Ulrich and myself are coming back this winter for a US workshop tour. We're going to be teaching in Miami, in Washington DC, in San Antonio in Texas, in Corvallis in Oregon, and in San Diego in California to get much of the skills that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So if you want to learn from us in person, there is a link in the description down below. Right, so let's start things off. Let's talk about body weight standards. So this is something that I've been thinking about for a little while, and I think there's almost some things in weight training that is considered like good standards to hit, good levels of skill to be at. We don't necessarily have the same thing for bodyweight training. So what I've kind of done is I've gone over some levels that I think are a good rough collection of different positions, things that you should be able to tick off for basic, intermediate, advanced, and then there's some things that are just gonna be like super advanced. But essentially, like, it kind of gives you a direction as to where you can be aiming with your training. So before we go into the details as to the kind of standards that I think there are in bodyweight training, again, remember, this is my personal opinion. I have floated this around off some other sort of teachers, practitioners like Emmett and several others. And I also put it out on Instagram, and it seems to be a pretty fair representation. But remember, the representation is of a group basis. So as an overall, thinking about the bodyweight community, these groups of exercises and things are like a general standard. When it comes to an individual level, we're gonna have different biomechanics and different things that are gonna set us up for the better or worse for some of these skills. So some people are gonna be stronger with pulling exercises, like pull-ups and muscle-ups and that sort of thing. Some people are gonna be stronger with pushing exercises like dips and handstand push-ups. Some people are gonna be better at straight arm and bent arm, etc. So understand that in these groups, some of them will be easier than others for yourself, and that's gonna vary on an individual level, but as a general representation of that specific skill, it's where I believe it should go. So without further ado, and without enough rambling, let's jump into the bodyweight standards. But the basics aren't about being a beginner, they're about building the basics and fundamentals of strength. These aren't supposed to be easy, they're supposed to be something to work towards, but by getting all of these down and nailed, it will give you a base for future skills, such as the intermediates. The intermediates is something where we see that strength really start to develop, and we can work on perfecting and really starting to max out some of those basic patterns such as the pull-ups and dips. We're also going to introduce in the handstand push-up a fundamental overhead pushing pattern, go a little bit more advanced with the handstands, get that press to handstand that everyone loves, and also start to see those higher level skills come out, such as the back lever. Finally, we're going to move into the advanced. Now this is really a culmination of everything that was come before it, although it's not quite as advanced. There's definitely a level higher than this. The one arm chin-up is a fantastic example, and the equivalent being 3 chin-ups with 66% of your body weight. More handstand push-ups, the stalled press building off some of those foundations beforehand, perfecting the planche, and the 90-degree push-up. So let me explain a little bit of the method behind some of these recommendations. Some of it is based off the poll, based off like 900 different bodyweight fitness people, which I went through a few videos ago. I'll link that one down below if you are interested. The rest of it is based off like coaching experience, taking people through, getting people to a certain level of strength, and then the rest of it is kind of chatting to other practitioners and also my own personal experience. These goals are by no means easy. They're not a beginner level. Basic does not mean beginner, as I said. This is about things to aim for, things to tick off before potentially thinking about working on more advanced moves. So the way this is set up is it's about nailing basic levels of strength in basic patterns, such as the pull-up, the dip, the handstand push-up, etc. Making sure these movements are strong, making sure that foundation, that general preparation of strength for bodyweight training is there before then going on to the more intermediate and advanced moves. When you choose to take it towards that more skill focus, working on things like the planche, the front lever, the press to handstand, whatever other skills it'll be, you're gonna find them that much easier because you've already set the foundation by getting yourself to a certain level of strength first. Trust me, I've made this mistake myself. But you can take this with a pinch of salt and apply it to your own personal practice. If you don't train the handstand much, if you don't care for the handstand, then clearly it's irrelevant to get that aspect of the handstand. It takes a little bit more time, it's more skill-based, it's not about strength. If you only care about strength, then perhaps the pull-up, the dip numbers are gonna be more important to you. But all of these sort of things is where I said earlier about the fact that that individual circumstance does dictate over this general advice. But in short, I certainly don't think you're gonna go wrong this year if you focus on developing those core fundamental patterns, the pull-up, the handstand push-up, the planche and planche push-up, and the front lever. And then also the handstand and maybe dip if you want to as well. I think all of those are gonna give you good bang for your buck when it goes to future training. But again, this is just my kind of personal opinion. Where do you want to go with bodyweight training? What are your goals for this coming year of 2020? I know this is a bit cliche, 2020 goals, etc., but it is useful to have that time to take a refresh, to look at your own practice, to look at where you want to go and make a plan of attack and get it done. So for me this year, setting the handstand stuff aside just for a moment, a lot of my basic training is going to revolve around these bodyweight standards, because I think that if I have those nailed down, they're going to make anything else that I want to do in the future that much easier. So most of my strength training will be around that. I kind of class myself somewhere in between the intermediate and advanced. I can do all of the intermediate stuff. The advanced stuff is just a little bit out of my reach. So many of my goals and many of my basic strength work will be focused around, you know, getting the one arm chin up on both arms. I can do it on my right sometimes, can't do it on the left. 3 reps of a handstand push-up I think I can do. Again, on a good day, I would like that to be every day. Shoulder press is easy. Straddle planche, that's a big one to do. I've kind of figured out what I need to work on for myself, so I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna nail that one down. And full front lever is there or thereabouts as well. So for me, it's just a matter of keeping those stat stuff ticking along and just spending a little bit more time and focus on it. The main goals, however, that I have a real focus on are, well, you probably guessed it, the one-arm handstand. That was my main goal for 2019 and much of 2018 as well. I very, very, very nearly kind of ticked off to some extent in 2019 with that 10 seconds one arm. That was the end goal. Had a couple of 9.5 second ones. They don't count. I want at least one 10-second one, and then, to be honest, I'm going to continue to work on the one-arm handstand because I really love it, and it's a fun skill for me to do, so I'm going to see how far I can push myself with that. But at this rate, I'm just happy with a consistent straddle one arm. That's all I'm focused on at the moment. Second priority is, as I said, general strength stuff. Third is actually the Van Damme splits, so the active splits, maybe like the chair splits also would be a good example, something like Thomas Kerr's as well. But yeah, I want to be able to do the like Van Damme on the 2 lorries driving backwards split, because it seems like a cool party trick, but it also just seems like fun to train and something fun to push. I've never had full active middle splits, I had full passive middle splits at some point, so it'd be interesting to train for certainly a little bit different training as well. So that's kind of basically, I like to keep my goals short and sweet. If you keep the focus relatively narrow, you're going to make good progress rather than making marginal progress in lots of things. One-arm handstand, completing the advanced bodyweight strength standard, and then number 3, Van Damme splits. It's gonna be a fun year. So that is basically it for today's video, guys. I know it's been a talking video. I kind of wanted to do this getting started 2020, help you guys get a plan, make a plan for myself, because you know, failing to plan is planning to fail, all of that sort of jargon. If you do want a hand with your training goals, there is always the app Tribe, in which we're constantly adding new programs to. So we've got some fundamental strengths to help you get those basics. We've got some skill strength programs to help you nail down the skills. We've got some muscle mass, we've got a fat loss one, we've got some handstand programs, and of course all of the mobility ones as well. If you want that guidance there, it'll be the top link in the description down below. But otherwise, I would love to just hear kind of where you're setting your standards and where you're going to focus on in 2020. As I mentioned, what are your goals? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you just enjoyed this video, if you're psyched for 2020, if you're psyched to make some gains, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. Right next to it is also the subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior Tribe if you're not already. But that has been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week, and